somebody has to facilitate the needs of the community.
Of course, nobody likes garbage, but we all generate garbage every day. We need to figure out a sensible way to manage it. And transfer station, in some way, a very sensible ways to do that, because you collect garbage in one area and then you sort them out. So you can implement some recycling plan and then you dispose the waste in a manner that is very sensible to the environment.
It discovered that somebody who was going to be doing recycling and waste management was going to be located across from your corporate headquarters. I can't think of a worse thing that you would discover that would be located across the street from you.
Well, the initial thought most of us had was NIMBY, not in our backyard.
Absolutely not in our backyard, no. It was not going to be located in the immediate vicinity here, and the neighbors were pretty upset about it and ready to do whatever we had to do to make sure that this facility was not positioned in our community.
We talked with the folks from BLT. They spent a great deal of time to explain to us what they wanted to do. We visited their facility and we saw how they operate, and we were pretty impressed how clean the place was. We would naturally think that a waste transfer station would be really dirty and garbage and debris and strewn about on the street, but in fact what we saw was a very nice, clean facility. We couldn't even smell anything.
There's a real difference between a solid waste transfer station and a dump, and most of the community did not understand the difference there. And that, once, as I say, once that was taken care of, the community settled down and could see the benefits of having this facility.
Our negative perception changed once we had an opportunity to see what their operation was all about.
And I went down there, and first I was impressed with how clean the facility was. And there was no odor. I mean, it was a pretty warm day the day I was down there, which was good because that was relative to the conditions around Sacramento. There was no odor. Not only was the plant clean, but everything around the plant was clean. And that was one of the conditions that BLT said, look, we're committed to not only cleaning up our site, but ensuring that all around us would be clean. And then the third issue was the traffic issue. And what I saw that day in Southern California, it wasn't a problem. We talked about community commitments because our company was very committed to Sacramento and the immediate neighborhood around the facility. And talked to representatives of BLT, and there was a really positive feeling. I came back really excited about having them as a neighbor.
Whatever they say they're going to do, it's most likely that they're going to do it. The best thing to do with an organization like that is just visit their other facilities. They're relatively new. They've built and developed them, and they operate them. They're under the same ownership.
They assured us that we would have a facility that was a complement to the community. They did that. Their facility is a step above that of the majority of the complexes that are in the industrial park that they're located in at this point in time. They also went out of their way to design their traffic patterns to accommodate the community. That was most appreciated by everyone.
Number one is they built a plant that was aesthetically pleasing to the eye and to the area. That's number one. Number two is they came out and they talked with the community, found out what the community's concerns were. They addressed those concerns, one of which was blowing trash all over the place. They made sure that they had people out every day, twice a day sometimes, picking up any trash that may have blown out of the compound. They held their drivers to the strictest of standards, making sure that they don't have trash blowing out of their trucks when they leave.
Frankly, they were committed to the kind of facility they built, how it looked, what it felt like, either walking by or going into it, and certainly being around it, working around it. They made a very serious effort on design, both functionally, how vehicles entered and left their facility, where things happened relative to what you saw from the street, which for us as a business was a big issue. And they very successfully were able to do that, and frankly, helped set a design standard on Fruit Ridge Road, which was a sort of a redeveloping industrial area. The BLT facility was really a key change agent in helping us in those redevelopment efforts.
We've ended up with a very good project. I think it's very well managed. The facility is well maintained.
BLT was able to manage commingled recycling, and commingling is one of those issues that to make it easy for people to recycle, that's really the way you have to go. And they made it easy. They make it easy for Sacramento residents, and as a result, I think recycling in the city of Sacramento is very successful and is easy, and it's not something people struggle with.
They have become community participants. They actually work at being good neighbors. I would have no problem at this time going to a community and saying, look, these are good neighbors, and this facility will benefit everyone if you put it here.
If we had more corporate entities in our community, such as BLT, our nonprofit organizations would do a lot better. And I think our community would be a lot better for it.
They manage it probably as well as anybody's going to manage it. And I think I would consider them to be the example that you would show to other recyclers that come into your area or an area and say, this is the way you're supposed to do it. And I think they brought that reputation here, and they've proved it here, so I can say that with authority.
Everybody hears about commitments. When anybody wants to come into a community and they want to build a facility, they want to start a business, they'll tell you up and down how committed they are to the community, and you'll hear it and you can roll your eyes. But BLT made commitments that they were able to demonstrate that they've done in other communities, and they certainly have done that in Sacramento. But they not only made those commitments, they've lived to them, and they lived to them long beyond just the issue of becoming an entitled business. And you know, they're a company that I know Sacramento and our community, we're really proud of them, we're pleased to have them, and it's hard to imagine not having BLT in our community.
I think BLT in my book, probably an A+.